we were doing shit constantly. So next morning we woke up again early.
San Diego Zoo.
7 a.m. I think on our way. 2-hour drive to San Diego. Straight to San Diego Zoo.
Emma creamed her knickers when Erin parked again because it was like my new love and my old love.
Yeah, parked right next to a Shelby GT Mustang.
Me.
Em took a photo, of course, right between the two.
You can sandwich me between those two any day.
Oh my God.
Holy shit. Aren't you glad I love muscle cars though? Like not like these little like
buzz boxes.
Like they were big boys.
They're sexy cars.
They were big boys, and I would sandwich me between them any day.
It's not a PG episode. Anyway, into the zoo. The zoo's great. We always have a great time at the zoo. I can't remember too much spectacular, except for the one thing when we were towards the end of the day, actually, when we'd gone up to try and find the grizzly a couple of times, and every time we went up there, because we knew there was a grizzly
they
there,
were asleep,
we'd seen it last time. This time it was asleep. Well, there was two. They were both asleep in the same spot. So we said, we'll come back later. We'll see it later. We did get to see the baby bears that have just been born.
Yeah, so cool. These baby bears were 3 weeks old.
Sun bears, basically. They weren't sun bears.
They're bears, but they weren't sun bears. But yeah, they were fluffy.
Like
they almost look like raccoons. A little bit. Oversized raccoons, yeah. But basically, these babies were 3 weeks old. The mum had not come out for 3 weeks. She had not brought the babies out. She would apparently just absolutely refuse to bring the babies out. And everyone was like, we just haven't seen them. We did the tour, and she's like, you've got Buckleys of seeing them. Like, there are babies there.
Yeah. Well, they hadn't seen them yet either.
No.
The tour guides were like, we haven't got to see
them.
We
haven't seen them. The only people that see them is the handler. And, yeah, we haven't seen the babies. They're not going to bring the babies. She won't bring them out. She's not confident enough yet. And we decided to go back to look at the grizzlies. Bastards were asleep. So we're like, well, we might as well walk down.
Right.
So
there's a fair crowd over there. What's going on?
Yeah, so you got the grizzlies, and then you got that, and yeah, so there was maybe about 10 people all just on this where that bear was, and I was like, the fucking babies, I guarantee you the babies are out.
Yeah.
We sprinted, and they're two little itty bitty little
just playing carrot
and the mum was like, fuck off, I'm done with you. But yeah,
she kept trying to get away. She was trying to get higher.
Yeah,
and
they kept running, but they're
chasing her.
Little baby bears.
It was pretty cute. Seeing these baby bears was pretty cute.
They were cute, yeah.
But anyway, so later on in the afternoon, we asked the tour guide, because we remember where it was. We were in the right area, but we're just like, what's the quickest way?
It was 10 minutes till closing.
Yeah, it was super close to closing. So we're just like, what's the quickest way to get there? We really want to go and see the grizzly. And he's like, the bears are up there. If you just take this road, you can get there. And we're like, yeah, cool, thanks. As we started walking off, he's like, but I don't think we have a grizzly. And me and you just looked at each other like, what the fuck?
Do you
did he
fucking
say?
work here?
Like, this dude's not just like a tour guide or anything. Well, even if he was, he should still know. But he was an actual, like, animal worker. He worked with the animals. But he's like, I don't think we have a grizzly. I'm like, motherfucker, last time we were here 4 years ago, we knew there was a grizzly. And we know there's one there today. What the hell is he doing? Went back and, yeah, fair enough. The grizzly was there. Sleep, but... Like, how the fuck do you work?
I think as we walk back down, you're like, I should tell him.
No, I did. As we walked past, I was like, yeah, the grizzly was asleep, mate. All good. I was like, how the fuck does he not know there's a grizzly?
As you said that as well, I'm pretty sure there was some guy in the background being like, light the beam. Because you had your jumper on. He's like, light the beam.
Everywhere we went, I'm wearing this jumper.
Light the beam
and
came out.
People were just chanting light the beam constantly. And I just kept giving the thumbs up behind me. Didn't acknowledge him except for just, yep, thank you. This is a great time. People were loving on the jumper. Everyone wanted to light the beam. So, something they need to do here because people will light that goddamn beam. Also missed. No, I didn't. That's all right. Keep going. Long drive back. We took a little bit longer because we stopped at a Walmart on the way back. Funny story. We bought some more stuff at Walmart. Can't remember.
We bought so much shit at
Walmart.
We bought
heaps of shit everywhere.
Every time we bought something at Walmart too, because basically the deal was I don't buy much at Disneyland apart from a couple of pairs of ears to wear at the parks. And then the very last day, you can go to a store that's not in the park and everything is in there still.
Yeah, because it's got like a street, like a Disney walk or
and
whatever.
so the store is there, but you don't go into the Disneyland. Yeah. And so Erin's like, the last day we'll go to that store, have at it. And every
whatever
time
money we got left to spend, it's all yours.
And every time we went to Walmart, we spent like $100. And I was like, this is chipping into my Disneyland, like...
I was like, you're buying so much Baby Yoda stuff.
This is chipping into my Disneyland shopping spree, like, bullshit. you spent about $400 at bloody Sacramento Kings store, and I was like, it's not there.
I did. I spent like
I let you
$300 US.
Well, I didn't let you, but I encouraged you. I wanted you because you don't get that stuff here.
You don't. You look on the websites like kingshop.com or whatever, NBA store, everywhere. You can't buy the stuff.
You don't get like the beaten stuff here.
So yeah, we had to buy stuff while we were there, and I bought a jersey, which is so dumb because I just got stuck in the moment.
Yeah, you can get them over here
because you could buy a Fox jersey at the game for $160
it was $160 US, yeah.
That's insanity. So that's like...
It's not even a player issue or anything. It's just a heat press.
It's a swingman heat press that they do at the stadium.
Yeah.
They were literally
like mass producing
while you're
them.
waiting. That was stupid. $160 US, which is about 250 Australian. And I was like, why did I just do that? Because I'm going to wear it tonight. And I mean, I probably would wear it again. I did wear it again a few times, but I didn't have to. And then I know that we sell them in Australia at stateside for $120. It's like, what an idiot. Like, what did I do that for? I had a Kings jersey at the game, too. It's not like I needed to buy it. Well. I had a jumper on anyway, didn't I? I didn't even see the jersey.
Oh, well.
Anyway, but got caught up in the moment, spent a lot of money, but Em was going everywhere to find this jersey as well, so I had to buy it when she found it.
I was trying to find you a Sabonis.
We wanted a Sabonis, but for some reason they wouldn't make them in my size. I don't get it.
Yeah, they made like one and they got sold pretty quickly.
Yeah, they said come back at halftime and there'll be one made, and we went back and they were gone. Like, God damn it. So Em found a Fox in my size, so we bought that. Hadn't had a Fox jersey before, and yeah, Fox had a killer year, so I needed to have it. But anyway, spent a ton of money. Where were we? We were San Diego, so we made our way back from San Diego the Monday night. Tuesday, again, there's not much time here to just relax. Tuesday, we drove to Vegas. And that's not a short drive. But, so the night before, we were supposed to give the car back that night, and we're supposed to get a BMW X5 to drive to Vegas. But once we got in that Challenger,
I don't want to give that car up.
We can't give this car up. I need an extra few days. So I messaged the guy.
It also didn't have unlimited kilometres on it. That's why we didn't get it.
Right. We were like, we could drive it, but it'll cost us a ton of money in kilometres because you only get a certain amount. But I messaged the guy. I said, look, we need this car for a few more days because it's so good. We don't want to give this car up. And he's like, yeah, how good is it? It's amazing. I said, any chance we could have it for another 3 days? He said, unfortunately, it's booked out for that third day, but you can have another 2. So we were like, all right, let's do it.
Perfect. That's all we need.
He said, we'll even give you unlimited kilometres if you do it now. I was like, done, deal. So we got it.
He basically said, as long as we don't abuse it.
Yeah. Em's like, what do you mean by abuse it? Like driving it 1,000 kilometres? Because it's exactly what we did.
Yeah.
But I was like, no, he didn't. He meant don't abuse it as I don't tear up the wheels and go nuts in it. So we're like, no, we're respectful. We did drive it hard at times and rev it a bit, but we didn't treat it like shit. We didn't do burnouts.
Oh no, we treated it like it was like our firstborn. Like, oh my god, like.
Well, we didn't want to damage it, so we were like careful. But it has to like.
I didn't want anyone damaging it.
I mean, I do remember doing about 170k an hour in it, but you have to when you got a car like that, and the cops are next to you, not caring,
racing you.
Yeah, pretty much. So. We drove that thing all the way to Vegas. It took us a good 5 hours to get there. Some of the traffic on the way was a bit shit.
Horrendous. We stopped over at the world's biggest...
the world's biggest
servo,
which
was huge.
Yeah.
Found a piece of the Lakers...
the Lakers champion... Lakers 1991 court, which of course, 91, which is the first championship that Michael Jordan won. So that particular center court, so it was the Los Angeles logo center court piece, was just stuck to the wall, and then Em read that this was that court.
We didn't even really recognize it was a piece of court. We were just like, it was like a shrine to like Lakers.
I could see it was a court,
and we were like, that's really cool. And then I went, Erin, it says it's, and Erin's like.
Yeah, well, it had a plaque there. It said
your face instantly.
Where it was from. And I was like, that was Michael. And then they had a whole bunch of plaques saying this was the court that Jordan won his first championship on, and I was like, holy shit, this is cool.
And it's got barriers around it, and Aaron's like leaning over the barrier.
Oh, I touched it. I didn't care.
I just, and I was like, Aaron, you're not allowed to do this. Just to say that I've touched. Yeah. You've touched a piece of floor that Michael Jordan stood on.
Oh, yeah, I touched the court that Michael Jordan won his first championship on. I couldn't help myself. I leant over. And
Michael Jordan's sweat probably dripped on that court.
Yep, 100%. It was worth it. Yeah, it was absolutely worth it. This thing was huge. Like, not just the piece of court, but this whole
servo was massive. How many pumps did it have? It had like 20-something...
Nah, it's more than that. It was like 40-odd pumps.
Pumps, yeah. Petrol pumps.
We were at 26 or something.
Yeah, petrol pumps. And it was like a lolly shop.
There was a car
There was a car inside of it.
Car. There's 2 cars, actually.
There was a car from James Bond in there.
Yeah, that was a submarine car, which was $1 million car. Just chilling.
Yeah, just everything. Everything you could imagine it had in it. It had an actual coffee shop. It had a White Castle.
Yeah.
It was huge.
Yeah.
Absolutely huge.
Insane, this place. So.
And we bought a squirrel.
We bought a squirrel, which Em still has. I don't know where Squirrely is. We called him Squirrely.
Squirrely, yeah.
We're very original.
He was our travel buddy.
Yeah.
He's around somewhere.
A reason for that is we had to buy something from America because we've bought some toys before. We had to buy something that we wanted to
Don't
see.
say toys. We bought some stuffed animals.
Some adult toys, not
stuffed
adult
animals. We did. Oh, my God.
We came home with some stuffed animals last time from our trip, so we had to buy another one this time.
Yeah.
And Em loves squirrels. Ever since she saw a squirrel last time, she's like, we need to buy a squirrel. So
if there was a raccoon, I would have bought that.
So Squirrely came home with us, and this time we saw one squirrel the entire time.
One squirrel. Last time was like the whole place was infested with them. This time, one.
Yeah.
Bullshit. And I saw a raccoon last time, too. I didn't see a raccoon this time.
The raccoon was... It was fun, but you'd be careful.
Nico.
He was very excited to see you.
Because I had biscuits.
He would have taken a nib out of you and given you rabies.
I was being careful.
Anyway, so off to Vegas we went. And Vegas is mental. It's good fun.
It's a lot.
We got there and we didn't have a lot of time either by the time we got there.
Nah.
It was pretty much get there, drop our shit, and go to the Luxor. So we stayed at the D Hotel, which was a little bit hard to get to.
Fremont
Some
Street.
of those street signs and the maps are actually...
They're pretty confusing.
They're hard to figure out sometimes because there's so many off-ramps and it's figuring out which one it's actually telling you to get off. It can be quite difficult. So you end up going around in circles at times to try and figure out where you're actually going. Once the time we got there, it's a very good hotel. You can stay at a really good hotel in Vegas for much cheaper than you can stay at one in LA, which is usually a piece of shit in LA as well. So it's actually really good to spend time there, but you don't want to spend too much time in Vegas because it is mental. Vegas is mental. But we only went because Em really wanted to go see Blue Man Group again. So we did. We dropped our stuff and went off to the Luxor Hotel, which is a big pyramid, and went to Blue Man Group and thoroughly enjoyed the show. Slightly changed since last time we went, which was cool because they often don't change their show for years. It's the same show every time. So it was good to see something a little bit different. Definitely worth it. It was amazing again.
And it was slightly different too.
I just went through all that, but because she was
Did
on
you?
the phone, she
Sorry.
didn't hear anything
Whoop.
I just said. And we went to the shop afterwards. We didn't make the mistake that we did last time, which last time we didn't buy anything. We bought a drum head, a used drum head from the show. Bought some other stuff too. Unfortunately, the Blue Man didn't come out. Last time he came out and we got a photo with him. This time we really wanted him to sign it. So his signature was he puts
because they're covered in paint
and
because of
just slap it on.
Yeah,
the
last
head,
time we didn't get a drum skin because they all got sold.
Yeah.
The artwork was already sold before we even got out there.
That's right. Yeah. So this dude ran as soon as the show ended. I saw
buy
this
the
dude
artwork.
bolt downstairs and out he went. I was like, where the hell is he going so fast? And we were there pretty quick because we were right next to the door. So we got into the shop and I just heard him say at the counter, "Sorry, it's already sold." So because in the show they make some artwork with the show stuff, the paint that they use, and immediately that was sold. So
we got a drum skin, and so last time the drum skins were all sold as well as the artwork. And some girl said, "Oh, can you do something with the drum skin?" So they don't talk, but the guy rubbed his head, which was covered in paint, and just like slammed his hand onto it. So that was really cool. We kind of wanted him to do that, but they weren't there, and
didn't come out this time, unfortunately. I think they might come out in the early shows, but probably not the last one.
Probably, yeah.
So We went to the last one night. So
that's fine. I mean, you can see on the drum skin anyway that it's all used. Like, you can see all the
it's
scuff
very
marks.
used.
It's very worn.
It has a sticker on it saying Blue Man Group approved and all that. So
yeah.
we know where it's from, so that's cool. We'll hang up on the wall. It'll be a really, really cool memento. We just walked the strip that night. Went and had some dinner eventually. It's, what's his face? The chef, Gordon Ramsay.
Oh, Gordon Ramsay, yeah.
Went to Gordon Ramsay's burger place.
That was quite nice.
Had some dinner there. I was not feeling good at all that day either, that night. Things were not going for really well for me. I was trying my very best to hide it from him, but I was not feeling the best. I actually drank a lot of water that night. I think you actually mentioned that I was drinking a ton of water. And I said, yeah, just getting some fluids in me. I just feeling a bit off, and I was not feeling good. The doctor did tell me I needed to drink a ton of water. It would help with my blood pressure, so that was what I was trying to do, and it did actually work. So, good dinner. It was a decent burger. They're very expensive, but it was pretty decent. It wasn't anything too special. Nothing like you would expect a Gordon Ramsay thing to be. It was just a nice, almost an English burger joint, really. Pretty big, like definitely a restaurant style, but anywho, nothing too special. Off we went back to the hotel and stayed at the room that night. And then what did we do the next day? We went out to the American Pickers shop and went the American, what's it called? Gold, silver
pawn shop. Yeah.
They went to his little restaurant there, which is really good. It's in the parking lot, so directly opposite the gold and silver pawn shop is Rick's barbecue.
Like a barbecue shop,
Oh, it was so good. The sauce was amazing. We went to the toy shop, which stunk like shit, literally. We walked in and we're like, this reeks.
The sewage pipe burst.
Broke. So it literally smelled like shit.
We had to get out. I had to get out. I was like, this is disgusting.
Yeah. I think from there we just went to back to Fremont Street and enjoyed Fremont Street for the rest of the day.
We did Fremont Street. I think we went for a bit of a lay down.
Yeah.
Then we went out and we gambled a bit.
Yeah.
You watched King's game
I watched the King's
at the bar,
game, which was the day that they secured the playoffs for the first time in 17 years, which was great, which we were hoping would happen when we were actually watching them live. But because they had lost the game before we actually got there, it wasn't possible. So the very next game, we watched them on TV, which was also at Golden One Centre, so that sucked that we didn't get to see them play and secure playoffs. But because we were gambling, well, we basically just sat there at the bar wanting to watch the game because there was little machines right in front of you. They were pokies. And the chick said, "Oh, are you gambling?" And we're like, "Oh, yeah." So we put a couple bucks in. She said, "Cool, what do you want to drink?" And she didn't ask us for anything, just gave us our drinks and walked away. We're like, what do we do now? Do we pay for these or what?
She put the receipt in a glass.
Put the receipt in, and I looked at it. I was like, it says $1. I was like, what? And then your drink said $0. So I was like, what the hell? Is this only costing $1?
For alcoholic beverage.
Oh, yeah, like Midori lemonade.
Midori lemonade and...
I can't remember what I was having, but we were smashing these back. We had probably 4 of them in the end. And she just kept asking, "Are you still gambling?" "Oh, yeah." And by this point, I was winning.
You were winning. I think I've got a video of it. I was like, this fucking bastard.
Yeah, you were not happy.
My money just got sucked up and was like, because I didn't play like Pretty Kitty or whatever it was. It was some stupid...
I was playing your game.
Yeah.
The one that you enjoyed.
And I was like, I'm going to play Pretty Kitty. And you're like, no, play this game. And I didn't play Pretty Kitty and I lost. So I was like, play Pretty Kitty.
Yeah, well, anyway, I was playing this game that Em usually plays at home, a variation of it. And I was just racking it in. Like, as soon as you hit those bonus
free
games,
plays, bang, you're on.
So I was just raking this money up. I think I put $5 in to start off with.
Ended up walking around like 150.
Yeah, I was up to a couple hundred at one point. I was like,
got a bit cheeky.
Just keep watching the game and drinking. So just kept bringing us more and more drinks. Lost a bit of money. We got down to 100. And
she even tried giving you a Fireball drink for free because some guy ordered it and then was like, "Oh no, I've changed my mind." She's like, "Do you want it for free?" And you were like, "Nah." And then you're like, "Wait, what?
Yeah,
for free?"
Yeah, because I didn't really. She's like, "You sure you don't want it?" I was like, "Nah, I'm good." And then she's like, "Oh, but it's free." And then I was like, "Oh shit!" And I went to say, "Yeah," and she walked off. I was like, "Damn it!" I almost got a free Fireball. But yeah, how rude is that? Like someone ordered it and then
changed his mind.
He's like, "Nah, I don't want it."
Yeah,
that's just so weird. But yeah, so we got to watch the Kings win, and then of course we won $150. So let's go get some steak for dinner.
Tony Roma's.
So we went to Tony Roma's, which was chockers. We had to go and put our name down, and they called us when there was a free table. So that was about 20 minutes half an hour, something like that, until they had a free table. So went back and had a good steak dinner, all paid for by the D Hotel, which was great. I've never walked out of Vegas up before. I mean, I've never really gambled.
We didn't gamble last time.
But never have I left Vegas with money more than money than when we started. So that paid for our hotel as well. So it was a really good time we had there. Short time. We're only there for 2 days. But we left the next day and we just got out of Vegas, just left Vegas, and we see a sign on the side of the road that says snow chains needed in mountaintops. And we're like, this is what it said up in Lake Tahoe. Why would it say that in the middle of the desert? We're literally still in the middle of the desert. We're in Vegas. We're in Nevada, which is there's nothing there. It's desert. There was, however, a couple of little mountains as you drive out. Legit, it started snowing on us about 5 minutes outside of Vegas.
To Aaron.
Yes.
Are we in the desert?
I don't know anymore because it's covered by snow and it's snowing.
Snow everywhere. We're in the desert.
It's not Vegas.
We're in Vegas and it's snowing.
Quite a bit.
You can't really see it, but the snow's hitting the windscreen.
Quite a lot of snow.
A lot of snow. Snowstorm over there. Well,
one thing you'd never think you'd see.
Snow in the desert.
Like, wow. Never would have guessed that would have happened. It was actually heavier snow than what we got in Lake Tahoe.
It was freaking cold.
Yeah. It was freezing. Like, the whole time we were in Vegas was cold.
Freezing, yeah.
Which is unusual. But, yeah, as we were leaving Vegas, it started snowing on us much heavier than we ever had. We started to get a little bit worried because we're like, shit, we're driving this Challenger in the snow. Hope we don't need snow tracks because we don't have them, snow tires. It didn't last very long, but it was just super cool to see snow in the desert. And again, we didn't have any time to muck around. We got back and we were like, shit, we need to go to the WWE store just opened, the Superstore. So WrestleMania Superstore just opened. We went straight there at the convention center. Tried to find parking, couldn't find parking. Paid $30 to park at the convention center.
Cheeky bastards.
Cheeky pricks. 50 Australian dollars just to go to the store at their parking. Everywhere you go in America, they try and make as much money out of you.
A lot of the parking we saw, it would be like $10, and you're like, oh, you beauty, and then it'd be underneath in small print per hour. Or
nah, it wasn't even that.
It was like per minute, per 5 minutes or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, like you see $40 parking, 30, 20, and there was 10, and then one was like $8. And you were like, just go there. That's all right. That's pretty damn
And then
cheap.
underneath $8.
Underneath, it was $8 per 5 minutes.
Per 5 minutes, yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, this is ridiculous. This place is a joke. They just out to make as much money as possible. And you can see that with tipping. Like, I can't remember. I was watching something on YouTube last night, and it was an American talking about how ridiculous tipping has got in America. And it was because of an Australian had posted, like, don't get angry at me because I'm Australian. We don't do tipping in Australia. Sorry, I forgot to tip you or whatever. And even this American dude was like, yeah, it's getting ridiculous. Like going to a fast food restaurant where they don't really do anything. They just they hand you food, they go, off you go. You don't really get any service. But as they pull up the tablet to pay, like everything's on a tablet, it's immediately how much do you want to tip? And it's already preset, 15%, 20%, 30% or other.
You can also push no tip, but then they can see that.
Yeah, you never push no tip because you feel like a right dick, and they see it, and they will treat you as such. But so you're like, man, every time I just press 15%, but even then, like for a fast food meal, you're paying like $5 extra.
Add it up, yeah,
for a tip. Why do they deserve a $5 tip? Yeah, I don't get it. I mean, obviously they don't get paid as much as us, but I feel like the amount of tips they would get would seriously add up.
Ridiculous.
To good money. Like, I think their average wage over there is like $52,000 US, which is pretty damn good. Certainly more than our average.
That day was such a not shit show, but it was such a we left Vegas. We had to make it back in time for the Superstore because we were worried that we'd miss out on things. And then we did the Superstore for ages. Go back to our hotel. had some lunch, and before you know it, then we had to rush off to go to the wrestling show.
Yeah, which was cool.
Which was cool.
Ken Shamrock. We sat really close, like third row, and I had a few big dudes land on us.
Yeah, I ended up getting like chairs like crushing me. You had to stop it.
But the video I'm going to show you very shortly it was so worth it though, because these dudes all flipping over the ropes, and this one giant luchador, this is the biggest luchador I've ever seen in my life. It would have been 6'3" and 300 pounds. He started doing his run, and everyone's running, sprinting
and we're just
out of the way.
Standing there.
Em's like, "Are we going? Are we going? Are we moving?" And I was like, "I've got my camera. I'm filming this because this is going to be incredible." When he comes over that rope, I did not move a muscle. And he just right in front of us, landed right in front of us, and he threw the chair at us because he hit the ground, got so excited, he just threw the chair and it hit us. We're like, Jesus Christ, that was terrifying, but it was so worth it.
Well, we didn't end up getting to stay for that long because so we got stuffed around with the car basically. So the guy that owns the Challenger, you're a cunt. You do not deserve. You do not deserve my car. You don't deserve my car. That's you. You horrible human being.
It's amazing because he was super nice.
At the beginning, he was so nice. Yeah. He told us that we had to have the car back by.
I said, "Can we bring it back at 8 p.m.?" So I could only book till 7.
Yes.
And he said, "Yeah, there's a booking at 9, but if you can get it back at 8, that'll be fine."
Yes.
I said, "Perfect," because the show will finish at about 7, and we'll go straight there.
Yeah, and so I think about 5:36ish, you messaged the guy and was like, "Hey, I'm just double checking it's okay to drop it off at 8." And he was like, "No, if you don't have it back within a certain time," I can't remember what time it was.
Yeah, he said if you don't have it back within 2 hours, so 7 o'clock,
Turo will charge you a late fee. So as long as you can have it back to me by 7:30. Yeah. And I said to Aaron, I was like, "We need to go now." So we ended up missing the last match.
Yeah, we missed the main event.
I kept saying, I was like, we need to go. The guy was really nice still as well. He was like, "Oh, good, man. Like, as long as you have it back by 7:30," and you're like, "All right, cool. We're leaving now." With traffic, this is our estimated time. We are just quickly grabbing fuel. And then halfway there, he texts you and he was like, "What's your
ETA?"
And I was like, fuck, he's getting pushy. Yeah. So as Aaron's fueling up, I'm like, oh shit, we haven't even washed this thing because you're supposed to hand them back and wash them. Luckily, the inside was okay because I cleaned my shoes off every time I hopped in it and stuff. It was filthy though because we drove to Vegas and I went,
"Oh, it was terrible.
Fuck it. I've got an idea." So
bad.
It's 7:15. Aaron's fueling up. We're like, go, go, go. I get the squeegee that you clean the window with, and I squeegeed the entire car, didn't I? He left a towel in the back of the car, so I squeegeed it. I cleaned it. I did everything. I did the boot, the bonnet, the windows, dried it with a towel, threw the wet towel back in the car.
And it still looked like arse, really.
But it was nighttime.
It was better, but yeah, it was nighttime, so I hit a lot of the shit that it was.
It actually looked really good. Actually, really good because of it was nighttime. Yeah. If it was during the day, fuck, we would have been in trouble. Yeah. So I think it was 7:31.
7:32 when I messaged him, said we're about to come out of the corner now.
We pulled into the car park and we're like, "There's a guy sitting in the car there. Guarantee you that's him."
Just staring at us the whole way around. I was like, "Oh, that's that dude. I guarantee."
Okay, so and then you have to take photos before you leave. So we snap, took photos, grabbed everything out of the car, and started walking.
Except my sunnies.
Oh yeah, he's $2 sunnies.
From the 99-cent store.
And so then we just went in. There was a store there, so we're like, "Oh, we'll just walk in there." And within seconds of walking in there, I was like, "I want to know if that's that guy. Let's fucking walk back." Because he messaged you and he's like, "Oh, cool, like I'm on my way now.
I'm on my way now.
Won't be too long." Within seconds of walking into this store and then walking back out, Dodge is gone. And I was like, fucking was him. And from there onwards, he turned into a prick.
Yeah. He didn't speak to us again.
No,
it was all Turo.
He then lodged... No, he did message you. He was like, "Hey, mate, like..."
Oh, yeah.
So every time you fuel up, you got to put the receipts in the glove box to prove that you fueled up. And their thing clicked. So we assumed...
As you would here until it clicks. And
we assumed the car was full. And because we were in so much of a hurry and he was rushing us so much because he said we could have it there by 8 and then all of a sudden it changed to an extra half an hour, we were under the pump. We didn't check and the needle on the fuel gauge was about a centimetre under full.
If that. Yeah.
So then he had to go fuel it up, which cost him $20.
$20, yeah.
Bullshit.
Bollocks.
No way in hell you fit $20 in there. I guarantee he filled up a jerry can or something while he was there too.
Yeah.
So then he lodged a complaint with Turo. So Turo charged you the $20 plus $10 inconvenient fee.
Yeah.
And so we just played nice. We were like, look, we'll just keep on his good side. I said, look, just reply and say, shit, I'm so sorry. Like, we thought because the thing clicked, we did. He, again, replied nicely and was like, all good, man. Just thought I'd like, like, okay, whatever. Done. That night.
That morning. I woke up the next morning.
Oh,
no, it was that night.
It was that night, and I'd just fallen asleep, and I'd gotten woken up to Erin very high.
Oh, I was pissed.
What the fuck? Turo had messaged Erin again, and he had claimed that we had dropped it off 2 hours late.
Oh, no, it was 36 minutes late or something. Yeah.
And Erin, and so it was like a $70 fee.
Yeah.
And Erin's like, nah, fuck this.
Yeah. It was $70 as well.
So we had all the text messages.
Inconvenience.
Yeah, so we had all the text messages and the messages on Turo, and Erin basically lodged a case and went.
Yeah, Em was like, nah, just do it, just pay it. Get on, who cares? I was like, nah, fuck this shit. And after I just gave in on the fuel, I was like, I'm not just giving in this time. I was like, I have all of the proof that this guy said it was all good.
Yeah.
So I was like, nah, screw this bullshit. I sent it all through to Turo. And then I woke up the next morning to Turo message saying, yep, we've seen all of your messages and we have rejected his claim.
Fuck you.
I was like, give me all my money back then, because this guy's a prick.
Yeah. He turned out to be the biggest wanker ever.
Yeah, he clearly just tries to scam people and claim as much money back as possible.
Like, come on. Like the other chick with the Camry, for instance, we didn't clean the car. She drove us
Definitely didn't fill it all
No,
out.
didn't fill it up enough. I'm guarantee you we didn't fill it up enough, but she didn't care. She was like, do you know what? I don't care. They've given me probably $400 anyway or whatever it was. Like, she was genuine. Yeah. He turned out to be really nice at the beginning, and then at the end it was like, all right, how much more can I get out of him? Like, he got, what, $500 out of us anyway?
Oh, it was a fair bit. It was $500.
Yeah.
To hire that car for.
As well as a full tank of fuel, as well as an extra $30, and then tried to get an extra $70 out of us.
Yeah.
Prick. I'm so glad I didn't clean that car. Yeah. And that's why I was like, and then I was just like, I'm so angry that he owns that car.
Yeah. You probably scratched the shit out of that squeegee, and I'm so glad you did now.
Don't care. It hurts my soul that I scratched the car.
Yeah.
But I don't give a shit.
Yeah, it was a sick car.
What a prick. Yeah. And like the fact that we had all those messages though, like, screw you.
Yeah.
I bet you he didn't think that we would like challenge him on that.
Not at all.
So that was the end of that.
That was the end of that story. So that was annoying.
We probably should wrap this up because it's getting on to...
We'll wrap it up very soon. We're nearly there. We didn't get another car for a few more days, so we Ubered for the rest of the time.
We didn't need a car.
Didn't need another car at that point, no, because we're pretty close to everything. And
it was WrestleMania.
It was WrestleMania, so we didn't want to be driving in and out of... after we saw that it was going to cost $30 every time we tried to park, at least.
Yeah.
Glad we didn't get another car.
Yep.
Uber trips weren't cheap either.
We were so dodgy though, because on the way there we paid the money, but on the way back Ubers were like $60.
Oh, we weren't dodgy. We were smart. We played.
So we just kept walking, and then we looked on the app and we're like, "Oh, we're 15 minutes away from home. Check Uber, $20. Nah, I think we can get it cheaper. Walked an extra 10 minutes, $12. Yeah, all right.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, let's do it. We don't want to walk anymore.
That was when we left WrestleMania.
We walked for so long.
We did. We could have walked the rest of the way.
We saved so much money, though.
We did. We saved a lot of money. It was well worth it.
$65 Uber trip to $12 Uber trip.
Yeah.
And, you know, we kind of enjoyed it.
We enjoyed the trip. Like, the walk through the community, the road was actually really
it was like looking at really nice houses, and we were looking at, like, gardens, and we were, you know, and then, like, a couple of guys walked past us. Like, some guy walked out, and he was, like, smoking weed, and he's like, hey, guys.
It's actually really funny that everywhere we went, at, like, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and you're just walking across the road, scary dude walking across the road, and you're like, oh shit, like, what's going to happen here? Every single person that we walked past said, hello, how are you? They were all really nice. Not one person was angry.
No.
It was actually incredible. And Australian people are assholes. Like, really, we are dicks.
They were...
You know, something I really realised when I come back is how nice everybody in America was to us. Not knowing that we're Australian, not knowing we were any different, but, you know, scary looking dude. just walk across the road at 2 o'clock in the morning. Not a great area.
And look,
say hello to us.
I'm not trying.
It was actually incredible.
They were actually the most loveliest people I've ever met.
That dude walking out of the house was so funny.
Oh yeah,
come out of his house and
at like a really nice house too. Really nice house too.
Yeah, it was pretty late at night too. Really nice house. He's got a big fro, smoking weed. That's the one thing.
Everyone
about
smokes weed.
LA is everybody smokes weed there,
and that's why your
asthma
was so
man,
bad.
Yeah, we should definitely make it legal here. It's not really that bad. And it helps people. Blah 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 blah. But since going to LA, I'm like, please don't make it legal here because it just stinks.
Yeah.
Like the whole city just reeks.
Everywhere you go,
it's
weed.
Unbelievable. I get why they do it and this and that, but I guarantee you they regret it now just because it smells so bad. I really don't really care about the smell of weed, but when it's just covers the entire city in smell.
It was disgusting.
Just nasty.
But it was funny because we were actually admiring that house because we're like, wow, that's a really nice front garden.
Yeah.
Like, all of a sudden someone comes out and we're like,
Yeah, oh, shit. And he just walks straight past us. Hey, you going? Like, oh, wow. Hey, how you going, man? Yeah. It was a really cool walk. We got a little bit ahead there. So the next day was Friday, which was SmackDown Day. So won't bore you with all the other stuff. But we went to WWE SmackDown that night. The Hall of Fame was on afterwards. That was really cool.
Oh, wait. I'll give you a funny story, though. Like, this story has to be told. Okay, so Emma is a chicken shit. Emma doesn't like fireworks. Okay, look, I like fireworks, but same with balloons. It's the unexpectedness of them that I don't like, and it's the loudness. I've actually got something wrong with my ears. I got tested when I was a kid. I don't know what it is, but...
It's a sensitivity.
It's really, like, I don't know if it's an autism thing or whatever it is, but it's... Yeah, if it's super loud in a really confined space, it really upsets me. And so I did have earplugs. I took earplugs with me, and I was like, SmackDown, it's not... I brought them for WrestleMania.
Because last time there wasn't fireworks.
No, and a couple of people came out, and I was like, okay. And so then I Googled...
to Google.
No. I Googled, does SmackDown have fireworks? And Aaron's like... What are you Googling? And Aaron looks over and then all of a sudden, fucking bang, fireworks go off. And I just about yeeted my phone down halfway down the stadium, didn't I? Oh, my God. And so, yeah, that answered my question. So straight away, earplugs went in. These earplugs didn't stop the sound, but they really muffled it. And it made me enjoy it more.
You were still shitting yourself.
I was shaking.
Like, she was uncontrollably shaking. My arm actually hurt because she was holding me that tight and her nails were digging into me that tight. Like, I actually felt bad because she was terrified. And I was like, wow, how can you be terrified of this? Like, I didn't bother me.
I don't mind fireworks. I can do fireworks, but because where we were sitting, you had the stage here, we were up high and we were in line with it. And because you're in a stadium and it's an enclosed stadium, it made them...
It was real loud.
It made them that much louder. Yeah. And because I didn't expect it, like if we go to the Australia Day fireworks or something, you can hear people counting it down. And I'm like, okay, now they're going to start. That's fine. But it's the unexpectedness of them and the loudness of them that really made me.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't stop shaking. But once I'd figured it out and then put my earbuds in, my earplugs, I was okay.
Yeah. So, good night.
But Emma shitting herself, Googling, does SmackDown have fireworks, and then fucking kaboosh.
Yeah, it was loud.
It's not funny.
Good night. Really good fun. The Hall of Fame was cool, even though previously they went on way too long.
Oh,
I
was not looking forward to that.
This time it only went for an hour and a half or so. That was really good. Rey Mysterio getting inducted was good. Still kept the storyline going with Dom and Rhea Ripley leaving.
Walking away.
Kind of good. It was a really good night. Next day was WrestleMania, the first night of WrestleMania. What an incredible night that was. Just going to SoFi Stadium was just incredible. We didn't get there early enough either day. We got there quite late both days. The second time was a different reason, but the first night we got there, we didn't have enough time to just enjoy the... It's almost like a little suburb because it's so big. The stadium itself's huge, but it's like a full-on suburb.
Traffic also took us a while to get there as well.
Yeah, it took we went from the city
basically
to
as well with a quick story with Ubers. There's a couple of them hit and miss, but some of them will pay this extra to have this thing on the top of their windscreen, which put you in the express lane, which you fucking get. You get to place and you get there quickly. But then there's other Uber drivers that were cheap and didn't want to pay for it I think the guy didn't say. I think he said it wasn't that much, but some people were just cheap. So then you're in an Uber that gets stuck in the lanes where bad traffic was. So it was hit and miss. Yeah. Sometimes we get an Uber with them, we're like, fuck yeah. But every time we had somewhere to go like that, we got stuck with an Uber driver that didn't have one. Yeah. It should actually be you can request.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. So you know you're going to get there much quicker.
But so we got stuck in traffic. It took us fucking 50 minutes to get there.
Oh, it's crazy. So we didn't get there early enough to be able to check it out. We got there early enough to get in the stadium with probably about 45 minutes to spare, which is plenty of time to get to our seats.
Enough time for Emma to put her
fucking... But we didn't have time to go get food or drink because the lines were huge. There's no way we were going to get food or drink when we got there. Did we end up getting food or drink at all?
I did during Becky Lynch and all that, yeah.
Yeah, you skipped a match to go. You missed the entire match.
I did. Yeah, I actually had a good chat with the guy on the line though, because I was looking up what the next things were, and he was like, "Excuse me, ma'am," and I had my earplugs in, so I couldn't hear him, and I got this tap on the shoulder, and I pulled it out, and I was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry," and he's like, "Oh, you got earplugs in," and I was like, "Yeah, sorry." Then we started talking about fireworks, and he's like, "Oh, can I just have a look at your phone? Can you tell me like what matches are next?" Yeah, so I had a really lovely conversation with him. Yeah.
Our seats are pretty good. Like we're on the third level, which is high, but not too high that you couldn't see anything.
Could see everything quite well.
You could see the stage really well. The lights are a little bit in the way of the stage, but it was okay still. You could still see it. The stage was incredible. It looked amazing. And the ring, we could see it well enough. Could see the people well enough without looking like ants.
See the entrances.
Yeah, so that was what we missed out on last time was the entrances.
Because we were so close to them.
The matches. We saw the entrances because it was so close to them.
Yeah.
But then you couldn't see the ring because everybody was in front of us.
And everyone's standing up.
So we didn't really get to see much. This time we're like, we need to be up so we could actually see everything. So that worked out well. We actually got to see everything, which is cool. The first night was just incredible. The crowd was up. All the cool things happened on the first night.
The matches were good.
Matches were great. The sing-alongs, like Seth Rollins' entrance. Logan Paul he's an entertainer. He's great. KSI. The elbow drop through the table was amazing.
Snoop Dogg doing a freaking wrestling move to save the day.
That was the next day. That was the second day.
Oh, was it? Yeah, but Snoop Dogg was just funny the entire time.
Snoop Dogg was pretty funny. Dominic's entrance, coming out in the police van. Shackles with Rey Mysterio's mask. That story was amazing.
That was wicked.
Everyone knew it was piss taking, but it was piss funny. But he takes his character so seriously that it's almost believable. But that was amazing. The match was just energy charged. And then Rhea Ripley, she's a heel.
Oh, I jumped out of my seat when she won.
Oh, well, we jumped ahead there. But yeah, she's a heel.
Oh, but people love Charlotte
was the face, I guess, at the time. But oh my God, it was 95%.
They already know how much I love Rhea Ripley. We went into this last time, but
you'll see even soon.
Oh God,
what happened there? So anyway,
but
the cheers that she got was incredible, and then
insane.
When she won the match, the place erupted.
Her entrance was insane. Like I know every time when she stamps her foot down, she does an entrance and then she puts her lifts her leg up and stamps her foot down, and just flames came out everywhere. It was wicked.
Yeah. So yeah, everything about that was just so good. The match was great. When she won, it was just nuts. The place went ape shit. And then Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, again, sing along with the crowd.
Usos,
everyone went nuts. The Usos. The match was great again. The first night was perfection. We had such a good time that first night that we forgot there's going to be a second night. This is going to happen again. Last time we went, it was 7 hours long. It was just a long night.
It's too much.
This time was about 3.5, and it didn't feel long at all. It was over pretty quick.
It was good.
I
get why they do it.
That was good. It was 8:30 at night when it finished. Yeah. So it felt so early.
I get why they do it now.
Which is why Em mentioned that we looked for Uber straight away, and it came up $60, and we went far away. We were 15 minutes drive. We're $60 US, $100 Australian. No, thank you. We're let's just start walking.
We just started following people.
Yeah, well, other people were walking, so we're why not do the same thing?
Yeah.
We'll just walk as far as we can until we can't walk anymore, and then we'll get an Uber. But we were enjoying that walk so much. We're hey, if we make it all the way, it's all good. We
almost did.
We did. We got pretty close. We got to the freeway, and from the freeway, it actually wasn't too far from that. So we were just before the freeway, and I was like, I'll just look again. And it was $9 or $10.
So whatever.
Why not? It's still a 30-minute walk at least. They're yeah, let's just do it. So we had to go through a couple of drivers because obviously they can see how much it costs.
Yeah.
And people were I'm not doing a $10 trip. What's the point? So eventually someone picked us up, and it was well worth it. next day, Sunday, we actually had tickets to a meet and greet. So we got there because it said that it was 9 to 11. So we'll get there at 9:30.
This day was a shit show.
It was a bit of a shit. Yeah, well, actually, the whole day was a bit of a shit.
Absolute fucking shit show.
Well, it said 9 to 11. So get the meeting with Rey Mysterio. So we got to meet Rey Mysterio.
It was photo opportunity with Rey Mysterio, and then we paid for a photo opportunity with.
Whoa. So I get ahead. So yeah, so we paid for a photo and autograph with Rey Mysterio. No, we just got a photo.
No, we just got a photo. We just did photo opportunities.
Just did photo, yes, that's right, sorry. So it was just a photo with Rey Mysterio, and it said the meeting is between 9 and 11. Nothing else. No information.
Yeah, it wasn't like
this first, that next. It was just 9 to 11.
It wasn't be here at this time. So we just went, look, we'll have a bit of a sleep in. We're quite tired.
We didn't even get there late. We got there at 9:30.
We got there at 9:30?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we walked up to where to collect the tickets from, and
we were just like, oh, where do we line up for a photo? And they were like, oh, the photo's already done.
Yeah, what do you mean?
What do you mean? It's been going for 30 minutes. How could it be done already? Like, oh, they took the photos first, and now they're doing autographs. So, well, we've paid for a photo. What do we do now?
And she's like, oh, well, you should have been here at this time.
Yeah,
and we're like...
It said be here at 9. I said, no, it just says 9 to 11. It doesn't say you have to be here at 9.
And then it turns out because I started getting upset.
Yeah, she was getting angry.
No, well, I wasn't getting angry. I was getting upset because, like, Rey Mysterio is probably one of the most nicest people you can ever meet. He is just... You couldn't faze him. And just to feel like we'd inconvenienced him made me really upset. We could have inconvenienced anyone, but because we had inconvenienced him, or I felt like we had, and then it felt like we were kind of being flogged off.
Yeah, it did, by the people that were taking us over there.
Yeah.
But it was cool because she was like, oh, I have to go ask Ray if it's okay. I was like, well, that's cool. But if he come back and said no, then that would be a bit shit.
There was also about 3 or 4 other people.
At least. There's 3 or 4 other families.
Yeah, that had missed out as well because they were like us. They just thought, because we were talking to them in the line.
I mean, those lines were a shit show too. No one knew where to go.
They were not organised at all.
She came back and was like, oh, yeah, Ray's happy to take a photo with you. Just
not a professional op. It'll be a selfie.
Yeah.
On your phone.
Like, yeah, that's cool.
We're like, whatever.
We just want to get a photo of Ray. That's all we care about. So we went and lined up in our own special line. And then some guy was like, what are you doing in this line? You shouldn't be in this line. And we're like, well, this is where they told us to go. And at this point, Em started to get really upset.
No, I got upset because I heard Rey Mysterio himself. That they were like, so we were in the line with signatures at this point, and then we were just going to hand our thing over and say, hey, we're taking a selfie with you. And that's how it was meant to be. But because there was people getting so many freaking things signed, and Ray was like trying to get through these, and then obviously there was a person that took photos, and I just heard Ray say something along the lines of like, I've done photos, like what is happening? And I don't know, he kind of sounded annoyed.
He was annoyed with the people who were organising the line.
So
it's like, can you organise it so they're separated?
Yes. And so then the guy was like, all right, who's for photos? And we're like, us. And there was a few other people. And he's like, right, stand to the side. And
we were next in line.
And he got really aggressive with us. And so then I just started crying. Like,
he was quite abrupt.
I was tired.
Go stand over there next to the wall. We're like,
I was tired.
Sorry, this is where we were told to be.
The lady was pretty rude with us at first. Then he was rude with us. And then I heard that comment from Ray. And I was like, we've just upset the most humble person in WWE.
He was getting annoyed with the organisers.
I thought he was getting annoyed with us, And so eventually when we did actually end up meeting him, I just said to him straight away, I was like, I am so sorry. And I think he could see I'd been crying because my face was all red. And so, he sort of like gave me a pat on the back and...
He was super nice.
He was nice.
Asking us where we were from.
Yeah.
We told him we went to San Diego.
And I told him I actually wasn't going to go to WrestleMania because I was sick. Remember that? I actually wasn't going to go.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I said, I actually wasn't.
The first night you didn't
I actually wasn't going to go. I was really sick. I can't remember. I had a migraine. I had a really bad migraine.
I was almost begging you to go with me.
And I was like, I can't. Like, I can't with these fireworks. Like, my head was pounding. And then by the middle of WrestleMania, my headache actually subsided. And, you know, and I said that to him. I said, I actually wasn't going to go. And he's like, I'm so glad you did. He's like, because you would have missed the best night. So we had a really good chat with us and he made me feel a bit better. But what a shit show that entire setup was. Like,
bad.
It was so bad. Like, they didn't tell you needed to be there at a time. It was just fucked.
Yeah, so we got the photo, which was really cool. And then we heard other people yelling at this woman that we were talking to earlier.
I actually felt bad for her.
Yeah, we started to feel bad for this woman because she was getting yelled at left, right, and centre by multiple people. And we're like, oh, shit, like, she's probably been told what to do, and it's this awful setup. And she's copping the brunt of it. So we're like, all right, we feel kind of bad for this woman now. But so we're waiting in line for the next meet and greet. And while we're waiting, Dominic Mysterio was doing meet and greets next to Ray. And that was just a funny dynamic because they were staying in character, talking shit to each other. Dom standing on the table abusing his dad, which is awesome. And then someone pops her head out of the photo booth and she's getting involved as well. So we're waiting in line to meet the one and only Rhea Ripley. So that was exciting.
Yeah.
And Em's super excited to meet Rhea Ripley. And, of course, she just won the SmackDown Women's Champion the night before. Mm-hmm. So super cool to think that we're about to meet this chick who just won the championship the night before. We're going to see the belt. We're going to be able to congratulate her.
And she's Aussie.
As Aussies. I'm wearing a Dockers jersey.
Yep.
Expecting her to say something about a Dockers jersey.
She didn't really have much time, though, because she had a big line
She was
to get
taking
through.
a long time with other people, so the line was going rather slow.
And she kept coming out. Yeah. To do shit with Dom, and they're like, get back in there, like, you've got photos to take.
Yeah, so the time was running out. I think the time had already run out, and they still hadn't started autographs yet.
But everyone that came out had a massive smile on their face. Yeah. Like, everyone was either crying, like, with happiness or smile on their face. No one looked miserable. No. She was spending the time with them, and she was wicked.
Yeah. So we finally got in there, and we said hello, and didn't say a word about my Dockers jersey.
Oh, we didn't even say hello, though. Straight away, you went, oh, g'day, how you going? And she just instantly was like, you're Aussies. Like, she didn't say it, but you could tell on her face. She was like,
she knew we were Aussies.
I know.
Was like, oh, how you going?
Hey, how you going? Yeah. And I just went, because she'd obviously got, like, what do you call them? Like, when they whack them in the chest?
So Charlotte takes it from her old man with the chops.
The chops across the chest.
The shit out of her.
And her chest, I'm talking, was bruised and cut. And I just went, holy shit, your chest. And she was like, yeah, it hurts a little bit. And I think from that moment she realised we were pretty Aussie from that point onwards,
Yeah, she's black-eyed, bruised chest, bloodied up chest. You'll see it in the photos.
But still looked as fucking amazing as anything.
She looked incredible. Yeah, and Em took her opportunity. So I was like, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Congratulations. I went to walk off. Em was not finished.
I faced her and I was just like, look, I'm not going to lie. I was like, I'm married to him, but I would go gay for you. I was like, you are incredible. And she's like, do you know what? I hear that quite a fair bit.
And I was just like, hey, I'm cool with that. Like, I'm down for it.
I was like, he's okay with it. I was like, I would go gay for you. Like, and she's like, no, I hear that quite a fair bit. She was fine with it. Like,
had a good laugh.
She had a good laugh about it. And I was like, look, you're wicked. I was like, you're amazing. And then as I walked off, you got your moment where you got a cute little wink from her.
Yeah, she turned and
Aaron about creamed his knickers. I was
just like, yeah, that was good. She was awesome.
She was hot.
She was very hot. Like, you've seen the photos of her before.
Well, she didn't have makeup on either this time either.
And I was like, yeah, she's all right. I don't mind. I love the character, but the look is... She obviously looks that way because she wants to look mean and hard, and she does. She looks kind of scary.
Darkness, yeah.
Very dark, gothic kind of style. It's not for me. It's not my type of thing. But yeah, take the makeup off, and naturally, she is gorgeous. So she was stunning. She didn't have any makeup on at all in that photo, and she looked stunning. I was like, damn, she is hot.
She had some guns on her.
Serious guns, yeah. So yeah, that was a great meeting. And again, we came out beaming because it was a good time meeting her, and she was fantastic. And then we got our photo.
It's probably the weirdest thing people hear about a couple both like having a thing for the same girl.
No doubt there were plenty of people with a fetish about her trying to chat her up, no doubt, at the photographs. There's some weird people there.
I didn't try and chat her up. I just told her the honest truth. I was like, look,
people would have been way worse.
Oh, yeah, no. And that's why I think she had a laugh, is because once she knew we were Aussies, it's just how we are, and she wasn't like, it wasn't super creepy. It was just like, hey, by the way, like, you're wicked. I'd go gay for you. And she was like, yeah, fuck yeah, I heard that quite a fair bit. But anyone else, like if it was an American, they'd be like real fucking about it. Yeah.
We got to see the photos of, like, obviously you go through the digital photos and we got to find ours, but you could see everyone else's photos. There were quite a few famous people that met her the same time we did. So they were in the same line as us.
Fluffy.
Gabrielle Iglesias was there just before us. Didn't see him, unfortunately, but that would have been really cool. So yeah, that was that. It was a long wait. Like that started at 9:30, and we left there at probably 3:30 in the afternoon.
We had a little bit of a squiz around the store, but most things had gone by then anyway.
Yeah, it sold fast. So you wanted a Rhea Ripley shirt. Immediately after we met her, there wasn't any.
We didn't go home. We went straight to WrestleMania.
So the plan was to go home,
but we didn't have time,
and then go to WrestleMania. But yeah, because it was so late by the time we left, well, let's go get some food. So we went to Denny's and got some food there. They were lovely, and food was actually great at Denny's. Was decently priced too. And then we said, all right, we're going to have to go straight to Mania. So we did. Got in an Uber, got there, and then more shit happened.
Oh, again, shit show of a day. I had my phone in my back pocket because I don't like traveling around America with like a handbag or anything, and I don't need it. Yeah. I just need a lip balm, a phone, that's it. And as Erin hopped out the Uber, so the guy dropped us off weirdly on the side of the road, and like we needed to get out.
Jumped out quick, yeah. He dropped us right at the front door, so we're like, oh, thanks.
Yeah, but like we needed to get out and get out quickly, and I couldn't hop out my door because that was right on the road. So Aaron hopped out and his phone had fallen out his pocket, and I was like, oh, don't forget your phone.
Yeah.
Shut the door, see you later, thanks. And we started heading in, and I've just gone.
No, we didn't even start heading in. As soon as I closed that door, you were like, oh, shit, I don't have my phone.
He's gone.
Gone.
He was gone. My phone had fallen.
I was chasing him.
Yeah, my phone had fallen out of my pocket. And then Emma started crying again.
Off she went, bawling. And I was just like, look, we'll get it back. We've got to do what we can do.
Never going to see it again.
I was calling Uber, who tried to contact him, nothing. I was like, well, that's a good sign, because if he isn't answering any messages from Uber, chances are he's turning his shit off.
Well, no. Well, in saying that as well, when he dropped us off, before he parked and he was trying to find a place to drop us off, because we used to do Uber,
yeah.
I sort of knew how the app worked, and I watched him go offline. And so even though I was really upset and you were trying to call him, we couldn't get in hold of him, I said, I really hope that he's gone offline and that he's not picking up any more jobs. Maybe this is the end of the day for him.
Yeah. Because if he'd picked someone up next job,
I guarantee they would have stolen my phone.
Yeah.
They would have stolen my phone.
So she was shitting herself, and obviously that ruined the rest of the day because we didn't hear from him at all that day. Her day was ruined. Like, she just sat there at Mania, just stone face, upset, obviously. The show wasn't as good as the first night.
No, it wasn't as good.
It was still good, still enjoyed it. There were still parts that were fun. Hell in a Cell was pretty crazy with
Finn Balor got
cutting his head wide open.
Head split right open.
We knew that he had cut his head open because immediately the doctors run in and started working on him.
Which is very rare.
It's sort of rare, but WWE's kind of at the point where if someone starts bleeding, they stop and doctors will fix them up and then off they go. So we're like, oh, this is dumb. Like, this is wasting all this time. Because where we were sitting, you couldn't see, and they didn't have the cameras on him.
No,
they weren't going
to show it. Sorry, a bit of blood, but we didn't.
This is so silly that they're going to like just clean him up and then get on with the show. It was literally like 5 minutes at least. And they were cleaning him up. And they were, all right, off they go again. So, and then the match ended. It was okay. It wasn't an amazing match, but it was all right. It wasn't until the next day that we were like, oh, shit, that was a good reason.
It was like 17 stitches, 14 stitches.
Staples.
From here to here.
Yeah.
Fully split his head right down.
14 staples. And the doctor was like, nah, match is over. And he's like, not a chance. I have to finish this match. So they stapled him in the ring.
Yeah.
Stapled his head
That's why it was taking so long.
It was like this
It was huge.
So they stapled his head up right there and then. And he got on with the match and finished it. And he also had, I think he had a torn calf as well. Came into the match with a torn calf already. That was pretty damn cool.
That's why he struggled doing the demon down the...
Yeah, so he came out as a demon.
And he normally
Edge
crawls.
came out really cool entrance.
Yeah.
He actually had a sick mask on too. Not Edge, but Finn Balor had this like mohawk mask on, which you didn't see. I saw it on the footage a couple of days ago. But yeah, like just the desire to finish that match is incredible for an athletic standpoint. No way in like any other sport that would happen, and they'd be finishing the game off. A little bit of a twinge in your hamstring, your week's over. These guys are incredible. The athletes,
actually,
and stuff.
Before we go off WrestleMania as well, we were heading into WrestleMania at one point. I don't know if it was the first or the second day, and you were wearing your Freo. It must have been the second day because you met Rhea Ripley in your Freo thing, and there's like lines of people getting in, and I've heard this Freo, Freo, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I like whacked you, and there's this chick in the line, and she was a Bombers supporter, wasn't she? And she was just like, hey, Freo, and then on the way home,
like, I haven't seen any other Freo supporters.
And then on the way home from WrestleMania, we were walking, and
there's a group of Swan supporters.
Group of Swan supporters, and then there was a girl in front of us, and we were just talking to each other, and she just turns around, stops dead in front of us, and was like, Aussies? We're like, yeah. She's like, I found some more. And there was just this group of Aussies, that all came from Australia to watch WrestleMania. Yeah.
So that's the thing when you go to WrestleMania as Australian, you generally wear your sport team. Yeah. So that's why you see the South Sydney Rabbitohs jerseys in the crowd, the random South Sydney, there's quite a few of them. We saw quite a few. And then there's a lot of AFL fans that wear their team. So we saw about a group of 8 Swan supporters just wearing their Swans jerseys. Yep. There's a bunch of different jerseys throughout the crowd. We saw heaps of flags, especially when Rhea won her match. You saw flags everywhere.
Aussie flags everywhere.
Just Aussie chants. The Americans attempting the Aussie chant was the most embarrassing thing.
They don't. So there's wrestlers that are Aussies and they do an Aussie chant, but they just do it Aussie, Aussie.
Open.
Yeah. And they just do the chant as Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. And so the Americans just constantly...
oi, 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 oi. They did the
Aussie,
Aussie. Oi, oi, oi. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie.
Oi, oi, oi. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Oi, oi, oi. And they just keep going and we're like, stop, what are you doing? And the guy next to us was like... And I was like, don't do it. If you don't know how to do it, don't fucking do it. They just kept going, oi, 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 Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. And we're like, stop. That's not how it does it.
Wrong.
And then at WrestleMania, or was it Raw, we heard him do the proper, and we were like, yes, we got it. Like, there was Aussies properly doing it.
Yeah, actually, Raw, there was quite a lot as well.
But they were doing it properly. And, oh, God, the Americans tried so hard, and we're like, stop it.
Yeah, it was embarrassing.
Fucking stop. Fucking stop.
So, good night. It was a little bit of an anticlimactic show when Roman ended up beating Cody. Everyone expected Cody Rhodes to win the championship and have this glorious ending to WrestleMania. It didn't happen. Not a bad thing. It just extends the story a little bit. And to be honest, I kind of agree with it because if he had won the championship, the story would have just ended there and nothing to chase. So it's got to give him much more glory when he eventually does get it. So I agree with it. A lot of wrestling fans who just wanted to see the moment hated the moment. But it'll be good when it eventually happens. That Bloodline story has been incredible.
I just can't, that day just unfortunately, even though Rhea Ripley and all that, it just was just a fucking shit show of a day, just down to the Rey Mysterio fuck up, to me losing my phone, to not having time to go back and change things. Like I had that photo that we'd taken with her around and then that got wet. Thank God it was in a sleeve. Remember I ran to the toilets to wipe it down because someone spilled a drink.
Yeah, so we got given a physical photo from
and like during WrestleMania, I tucked it under my seat because I thought, and then the guy behind us spilled a drink, which I didn't realise, so it went all over the photo. Luckily, they put it in a plastic sleeve, and so I ran to the toilet and wiped it down. It was fine, but it was just a shit show of a day. And
it was very far cry from the previous day. It was totally different, Didn't have that satisfaction feeling we had the day before at all.
No.
Em was still upset about her phone. Obviously, as soon as we got home, she started thinking about her phone again because she's sitting there in bed with no phone and... So I
had no way to communicate with anyone. Yeah. I had no way to communicate with the girl that was looking after Milo. I had no way to communicate with mum and dad. I was like, when I get home, how am I going to work out my business? Like, my business is my phone. Like, everything started running through my head.
There was a lot of freaking out that night, But then 5 a.m. again. I don't know why I keep waking up at 5 a.m. The whole time I was there, I was waking up at 5 a.m.
Witching
so
hour.
Early. 5 a.m. the next morning, I woke up to a message from... the Uber driver who actually said, I have your phone. I will drop it off to you today. Please let me know your address. I didn't wake him up because I wanted to get some sleep. I went back to sleep for a couple of hours, woke up, and I think Em grabbed my phone. And as she's grabbed my phone, Uber was calling, and she's freaking out.
I was freaking out.
Uber's calling. I'm like, huh?
Oh, and it was connected to your earbuds.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, no, it's all good. The guys found your phone because I was so out of it because I was so tired. I didn't really explain to her that, yeah, it's all good. The guys found your phone. So she's freaking out. Like, it's your phone, it's your phone. I was like, yeah, it's all good. I'm arranging a time for him to drop it off. So anyway, story ended well. Some other guy dropped it off for him. He came over about 20 minutes later, dropped it off, and all was well. It ended well. Again, we didn't have insurance, so again, it had to work out, and it did. Everything just worked out. That was the end of WrestleMania. We did go to Raw again the next day.
I clenched onto this thing with my life. Every time we were in an Uber, I was like, I was not letting it go. The guy was really lovely.
Yeah, they were great. And again, like I said, everyone there was lovely, and this guy could have easily got away with our phone.
Yeah, and he dropped it off to me, and he rang me with your phone when he got there, and he's like, "Are you?" And I said, "Yeah, it's mine." Yeah. And he even made me unlock it in front of him to prove it was my phone. He was really nice. I kept telling him, I was like, "I really appreciate it," and he's like, "Oh, good, thank you." Like,
we sent them a $20 or $25 tip to say thank you.
I told him, Mark, I really appreciate it. And he was really lovely.
Next day, went off to Raw. Which would turn out to be one of the worst
Raws ever.
Seen, which was so sad because, Raw after WrestleMania, usually stuff happens and there's excitement. There's usually returns or debuts. We got the return of Riddle. That was it. And everyone was just like, ugh, really? That's it?
Nothing happened.
The show was pretty boring. It was actually pretty exciting at the start because Cody came out and he called out Roman, said, I want a rematch tonight. And I was like, here we go. I was telling you before, I was like, I reckon Roman wins at Mania. Cody wins it next night on Raw. Incredible. Mm-hmm. So it was like, oh, this is going to happen. Called him out. And then Roman was like, no, I'm not having it. Or Paul Heyman said, no, not having it. So it's like, damn it. No, it was so close. He's like, oh, we're going to have a tag match. Like, how boring. And then out comes Brock Lesnar. It was like, holy shit. Like, Brock Lesnar and Cody Rhodes team up against Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa. That sounds incredible. Like, this is going to be cool. The rest of the show was boring as shit. Everyone's like, man, this sucks. Nothing's happening. Everything was just really boring. Like, there was no excitement to be had at all. No returns, no nothing, no debuts, nobody. It just couldn't have been any worse. Get to that match, we're like, all right, here we go. This is the payoff. Like, this is going to be the feel-good ending or the excitement to the show. It's going to end well. This is going to make it worth it. Match didn't even happen. And went to the toilet. Because she's like, all right, cool. The match is like, everyone's coming out. I can go to the toilet. By the time I come back, match will have started, and I'll enjoy the rest of the match. Nah, she didn't even get a chance. And the entrances happened. They got out. And as soon as Brock Lesnar came out, grabs Cody, F5s him, and off he goes, destroying Cody. Off goes Roman, back to the back. Em comes out. She's like, what the hell happened? And I said, Brock attacked Cody. He's like, what? I was like, yep. She's like, oh, this sucks. That was kind of a cool moment, but then, we didn't get that exciting match that we never thought would happen, and it didn't.
Yeah.
Funny enough.
It didn't happen.
So it kind of just ended like that with Brock Lesnar walking off and Cody just laying on the ground like a piece of shit. And like, wow, that sucked.
That was that.
Not one person in that crowd was happy. I can guarantee it. Everyone we heard all past us was like, wow, that was shit. It
was trash.
So that was the end of our wrestling week or wrestling weekend. Ended pretty poorly, but overall we had a really good time, fun experience. The shop had a bunch of cool merchandise, cool memorabilia at it from the new TV series, WWE Treasures Most Wanted, which was really super cool show to watch. Got to see some cool stuff, including the Eddie Guerrero Impala. The car, the lowrider, which we just missed. Dom and Rhea Ripley come out and put the shirt on the car. So we got there and we're like, oh, there's a shirt. That's really weird placing of some stuff. And then we saw a video later that we just missed them.
It was them being menaces, basically.
Yeah. They're fantastic heels. Well, Dom is a great heel. He's got so much heat. It's incredible. What happened there? So the next day, Tuesday, this is the second last day we had. What did we do on
Picked up the Corvette.
Nah, yes.
Oh, okay, so no, we did our washing first. We walked across and did our washing.
Yeah, the next morning, so the Monday morning before Raw, we went and did our laundry washing, which the whole time we were there, we're like, we need to wash our clothes because we got no clothes left. It was the second last day or third last day, and we're like, oh, we finally found a laundromat. Let's go wash our clothes. Makes no sense. But Em's like, if we do it here, we don't have to worry about when we get home. So, all right, cool, we'll go do it. We get there and we get a call. And I'm like, I got to answer this call. I don't know who it's weird getting a call in America from an American number. But I kept getting emails from this chick. Basically, answer your phone, essentially. So I was like, all right, I'll answer it. So Em's waiting inside. I go outside and answer the call. And the lady's, I got your email because we said about the fact that it rained. And I sent her an email and said, we booked this trip 6 months in advance because you have to. With Disneyland, you have to book in advance certain days. They have a reservation process now, which is COVID-related. It's stupid. So we don't really have a choice but to book this certain days. And, of course, it pissed down rain that day. And it was Em's birthday present that I actually booked all this originally. And she's devastated because she didn't get to go on the Cars ride, which was her favourite ride ever. And just really upset didn't get to happen. So I just said, is there anything we can do? One, I just needed to get a refund for the paying for those tickets. So that's really what I emailed for. I said, in the meantime, is there anything we can do about potentially going?
In the process, I knew nothing of this either. I didn't even know that you'd actually emailed this woman. So I was like, I'll just try my luck, see what happens. If they give us a discount, maybe we can go again. But they called, and she's like, really sad to hear about your experience. We don't like that to happen at Disney. We want everyone to have a great time. And we're really upset that your wife didn't enjoy her birthday. I didn't tell her that it wasn't your birthday that day, but she said, we really want to make it up to you. Please accept our tickets to come back again and go enjoy the park again. And we had 2 days left.
I was like, shit, we only have 2 days left. And she's like, when can you go? Can you go Thursday or anytime from Thursday onwards? I said, well, we leave on Wednesday. So it has to be before Wednesday. And we can't do it that day because she said, you have to go in after 4 p.m. Mm-hmm. And we were leaving at 11 p.m. Wednesday night. So I said, we can't do it Wednesday. And we're going to the wrestling that night, so we couldn't do it Monday. So really the only day we have is Tuesday. We did have a plan for Tuesday. We were going to go do something. It wasn't much.
I think we were going to go down to the beach.
We're going to go to Venice
Beach,
yeah. Enjoy Venice Beach and all that.
Take the Corvette
out to Venice Beach and go and enjoy that.
Yeah.
But, and when she said, do you want to go back to Disneyland and enjoy...
No, she said California Adventures.
So go back to California Adventures and just enjoy the night there. So from 4 p.m. until midnight. I was like, of course. She would love that. So she sent us tickets or told us to go to the... we'll call to go pick up tickets. I went back inside and told Em, hey, we're going back to Disneyland tomorrow. And California Adventures. And the look on her face is about that look she's got right now. So much excitement. So I was like, all right, beautiful. This is going to be good. We've got the Corvette that we pick up in the morning, which is another incredible experience. As I said before, at the time, the Challenger was the greatest car I've ever driven. As soon as I got in that Corvette, this changed immediately. The Corvette was the greatest car I'd ever driven. Holy shit, that thing was amazing. Drove amazing. It felt like a go-kart because you were so low to the ground. The steering was incredible. It was so fast, 0 to 100, and we did test it, and we had a little lap timer on the dash, so we knew exactly how fast we were going and how quickly we got there. 0 to 100 kilometers in 2.9 seconds. That is fast. And we kept going. I got to 110 miles, about 170 kilometers an hour. And you were like, that felt pretty fast. It's like, yeah, 170 Ks is pretty quick. Amazing. So much fun. But it made driving so much easier. Like being in that car, driving on the freeway, it felt so easy because everyone just kind of got out of your way, didn't want to get in the way of the Corvette. People were checking us out everywhere.
People stayed away from it.
Over here, it's a $300,000 car. So it's pretty incredible to drive that.
Nice car.
It cost us $200 to drive that car for the day. When we drove it a lot. We had a really good time with it. We drove it to the American Horror Story house. If you haven't seen if you have seen American Horror Story, you remember the murder house from season 1, and then again later on in another season, and then again in the American Horror Stories stories, I think they called it. Yeah, we drove it there, took some photos. There were some girls there that were like, we could hear him over in the corner saying we should ask him for a photo with the car. And Em's like, just tell them they can come get a photo. I was like, nah, this is just funny. And then eventually they got back in their car and left. We're like, oh shit, we should have just asked them. But we thought they'd left, but they didn't. They just sat in the car and waited. So when we left, they got the janitor to take a photo for them. So we're like, oh, well, should have asked us to come over and take a photo. Then we went to the Fast and Furious stuff. Somewhere along the lines, we went and checked out the Friday stuff as well from the Friday movies, which was really great fun. Went to Craig and Day-Day's house. Craig and Smokey's house. Then went to the market, which is really cool to go to. Went into the shop, bought some stuff from the shop. Great fun. And then, so that day with the Corvette, we went to Dominic Toretto's house. And actually on the Google Maps, they actually had
Dominic Toretto's
house.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't have been too long after they filmed 10th movie. Obviously, it probably would have been 6, 7, 8 months, something like that. But really not that long. The house doesn't look anything like it does in the movies.
No.
The garage isn't there.
There's a big fence around it.
There's a big fence around it, which they clearly keep putting up every time they do the movie. They put up a new fence for them. They painted the house again as well. So it looks a bit different, but the street, as you drive through the street, you just automatically recognize it. And from the first movie, Bob's Market, which at the movie was called Toretto's, which is where Mia works, and Brian goes in and gets a tuna sandwich, which nobody likes tuna sandwiches.
Yeah, no one likes tuna here.
Yeah, no one likes tuna here. That's right. That's literally around the corner. Like it was quite weird because it was about probably 6 houses down from Toretto's, the Toretto's house, just over there. Like you drive to that stop to turn left, and you look to your right, and that shop is right there in that corner. It was so weird how close everything was, but it makes sense that to film the movie made it a lot easier. But that was incredible going to see the house. We spent some time there, and to be at that house with a very fancy
with a Corvette. Car. Oh, it was even one guy who was changing his tyre, and we drove the Corvette past him, and he was just like,
yeah,
no shit.
Yeah, so many people would just
loved that car.
Went to Redondo Beach and got to go to the OC Cafe, and everyone was just checking out the Corvette, and got to drive the Corvette a fair bit. Then we drove. Em drove down to Anaheim. Back down to Anaheim when we went to Disneyland again that night. We went to California. I keep ruining it here.
Well, sorry. Emma went home first to get Disneyed up.
Oh, yeah, it's very true. So we did have to go back home. I was like, let's just go. She's like, no. I have to get my ears. I need to make myself all dolled up and do my hair and put on a nice
get my
jumper.
Disney jumper.
So we did that first, and then she jumped in, started up the car. You'll see the video. And she got to drive the Corvette down to Disneyland. I've done it again. Down to California Adventures. We go get our ticket. We go into California Adventures, and we read the ticket. It says Park Hopper on it.
The guy told us it was Park Hopper.
Well, and then we're like, all right, okay, interesting. So but they look at the ticket. It says Park Hopper. We're like, interesting. So we go to the guest services in California Adventures, and we say, does this mean that we can go between parks? He's like, yeah, you got a Park Hopper. You can go to Disneyland and back to California just whenever you like.
All day today.
All day for the rest of the day. So immediately, we're at California Adventures to go on this cars ride. Now, Em grabs me by the hand and takes off. I was like, where are we going? He's like, back to Disneyland.
I was skipping.
She was sprinting to Disneyland.
I was skipping.
I was like, well, we need to buy the tickets for the cars ride. So, yeah, you can do that when we go to Disneyland.
No, so we bought the tickets for the cars ride, and then the car ride got temporarily shut down again.
So, yeah, as soon as I bought those tickets, it got shut down. It wasn't raining, though.
No.
So, I'm sure it'll open soon enough. So, let's go to Disneyland, enjoy Disneyland for an hour or so, and we'll come back.
That's when we went back to Galaxy's Edge, and Aaron almost got into a fight with some guy.
I did almost get into a fight, but again, the Americans are nice. It was really weird because we walked in and we just heard this shouting.
This is probably the angriest the entire time we're there I've seen an American.
It's the only time we've seen an angry one.
He was what you expected, this big, bald-headed guy with tattoos that just thought he was fat. The fucking shiznit. He just thought, and so we're walking into Galaxy's Edge, and all we've heard was a woman about my size. He was towering over her. He's pointing in her face, and I can't remember what he said, but he basically said, fuck you. Like, I'm talking
just kept screaming, fuck you.
As loud as possible. You're in Disneyland.
Yeah.
There's kids everywhere. Like, This is the most magical place when you're someone like me that you can be in. And someone's acting like this. Yeah. And I even said to you, I was like, it's fucking Disneyland. Like, what is he doing? Like,
we're walking up to the Millennium Falcon and we're just like,
yeah. So Aaron pulled me aside and I was like, don't get involved. Like, leave it. And all of a sudden, you've just heard him say, fuck you again. And he spat at her.
Spat in her face.
In her face. Spat at her. And Erin's just gone, nah, this is not happening. And I was like, shit, like, don't ruin my Disneyland.
She's grabbed me. She's pulling me back. She's like, don't do it.
Just imagine him walking, me holding onto the back of his jumper, my feet, like, skidding along. And I'm like, stop, what are you doing? And Erin's just grabbed the guy by the shoulder and went, you can't fucking do this.
I didn't swear.
You just said you can't do this.
I made a point of not swearing because I was like, well, what? Yeah. I'm not going to swear in
Before
Disneyland.
You carry on, though, this woman that he was yelling at had 2 young kids with her.
Yeah, they had kids. They had other like family members there as
2
well.
2 young kids.
Yeah.
No matter what your problem is, don't do that in front of them.
Yeah, I just grabbed him. I think I just blacked out.
You just grabbed him by the shoulder. So from my point of view, you grabbed him by the shoulder and you pulled him and you just went, no, you're not doing this. Like, you're in Disneyland, mate. And he was like, I know, the happiest place on earth, right? And you're like, yeah, there's kids in front of you. And then, of course, the other family member, like, came up to me because I said, look, I'm sorry. Like, I tried to stop him.
I remember saying, I don't care what your problem is, you never spit on a woman.
Yeah, ever. You kept saying, you don't spit on a woman. Like, what are you doing? Like, this is disgusting. Like, you were at Disneyland and the woman came up to me, another lady, and she was like, shit, no, she's really stepped out of line. Like, he's had enough. And I went, I don't care.
Yeah.
And
I could care less what she's done
and
or said to him.
He just kept saying, she's out of line. Like, it's my sister. I'm allowed to do what I want. And you're just like, it doesn't matter. Like, this is Disneyland. You need to calm down. I didn't really hear what else you said because you guys took a couple of steps back. I was dealing with the women. She was like head down, like wiping spit off her face, like crying. And I just looked at her and I was like, are you okay? Do you need help? And she was like, no, I'm all right. And I was like, I'm serious. Like, do you want me to go get security? She said, no. And then the other chick harped up and was like, no, she's really out of line. I said, I don't care. Like, this is Disneyland. I said, there is kids everywhere. You don't swear like that.
Yeah. I was just like, well, you can't do this, mate.
You basically told him to go home. You were like, you need to leave. You've had a long day. You need to go home.
I was like, if you're like this, man, you need to get out of here. You shouldn't be here.
He's like, it's been a long day. And you're like, well, you need to go home then.
Yeah. I was like, no matter what's going on, you can't act like this. This is ridiculous in this place. And, like, he was backing down to me, and he was much taller than me.
He ended up shaking your hand or something, didn't
he? He was shaking like a leaf. Like, he was terrified. But yeah, he shook my hand and he's like, thank you for stepping in. I appreciate that. I was like, what the fuck? That's weird as shit to say. And then she said it as well. She's like, yeah, thank you so much for stepping in. Really appreciate it. Like, what the fuck? I thought you were standing up for him being an asshole. I was like,
well, anyway, we ended up telling security, and it's almost like
they've never heard.
But this the thing is, this stuff doesn't happen at Disneyland. This doesn't happen.
Yeah,
it's the happiest place on earth. Well, to people like me, it's the happiest place on earth. Shit like this doesn't happen.
We were talking to janitors. We were just like,
what do we do?
Security here? Or is there actually security guards?
And I actually didn't know what to do.
Yeah, I don't really know what to do. This doesn't happen.
So anyway, we eventually saw security walk past us and we're like, it's on. Like, it's on. Like, let's go.
Didn't say it. I think
I felt bad for her.
Yeah, you're like, I don't want him to see us because he might get angry at us and attack us. So I'm like, who cares?
Piece of shit. Fun, like, you don't do that at Disneyland. And you don't do that in front of your kids.
No.
And you don't spit on someone.
No.
Imagine if we didn't step in. If he went from swearing at her to spitting in her face, imagine what he would have done next.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
He would have probably fucking punched her or something.
Yeah, I believe it. The way he was acting, I wouldn't have been surprised.
He was fuming.
Yeah.
He was.
If you're happy enough to spit on someone's face, you're going to
your own sister.
Yeah.
He was he was furious.
Anyway,
so that was that. But apart from that, we ended up getting on the Cars ride.
Oh, hang on, you skipped too far.
No, look, it's fucking
it's
3 hours.
This is a 2-part episode, clearly. It's supposed to be a 2-part episode, but
it's a 3-part episode.
It's going to be a 3-part episode now. But we skipped ahead a bit. We're at Disneyland. We're still waiting for the Cars ride to open. Hours had gone past, still nothing. And you're like, it doesn't look like it's going to happen.
I couldn't care less.
Because California Adventures closed at 10, and it came 8:30 and still hadn't opened yet. You're like, screw it, let's go line up for Pirates of the Caribbean. It's half an hour wait.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
What are you doing?
Where are we, MC?
Looking for a Victorian sailor. We're in Pirates of the Caribbean. Looking for Long John Josh.
Half an hour wait. We'll go on the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. Enjoy that. It's a really cool ride. And we're in line, deep in line, and then we get the notification that it reopened. We're like, shit! Like, we need to get out of here and back to the California Adventures. We haven't even gone on the ride yet. It's about a 20-minute ride. Got on the ride, jumped off, ran to California Adventures. So it was like 9 o'clock by the time we got there. The park closes in an hour. And there's a massive line. And we're like, oh, well, that's cool.
For Fast Pass.
We've got bloody Fast Pass. We'll be fine. We'll just go straight to the front of the line. Nah, this massive line was for all the people that had paid for Fast Pass.
Fast Pass line was 25 minutes. Normal line was 3.5 hours.
Yeah, and the park closes in an hour.
Yep.
So I don't know what they do there. But
imagine being stuck midway and being like, nah, sorry.
Yeah, like they don't care. You'll wait. Oh, no, apparently not. From what I've heard, if you are in that line, they won't turn you away until everyone has gone on. So that's pretty cool.
That's good, yeah.
So even though the park closes, all the rides continue until all the lines are done. Or they're gone. So that's cool. But yeah, ours was so long. We're like, God damn it, something's going to go wrong.
It didn't take us long.
End up missing out. But the line went super quick.
We actually got on with maybe 15 minutes.
Oh, not even.
Yeah,
you're like 10
it
to
moved
15.
pretty quickly. We ended up getting a red car. We're like, yeah, we're going to Corvette.
We got the Corvette because the Corvette was red. And so we're like, we're going to win this for sure. And because it's such a great ride, you go through all Radiator Springs and it's cool, like really cool.
Get spray painted.
Yes, you can see the video.
I need to be fast. You need to look fast. Good job. Come on. That's rough, right? Looking good. Getting Come on in, rookie. Shiny paint don't win a race. Oh, get out there and do it.
Yeah, the Corvette.
And you sure was. Man, yeah, great racing. I'm talking about that tractor did.
Then you get spray painted for a race, and then you line up, and off you go. You're on this race. You're racing another car, and yeah, by the time you get to the finish line, you figure out who wins, and we won. Em's face in the photo is amazing because we won. She blocked out the girl behind us' face.
This poor little kid, first time ever on the ride, and I'm like, because I was like, yeah, and I completely blocked her out. I felt so bad. I was like, do I go and apologise?
I was like, no, don't worry about it.
She's American. She probably goes there all the time.
Exactly.
Yeah, but that photo, actually, I'm surprised I haven't posted that photo. I love that photo.
Yeah.
It's because you've got it, not me, but
Yeah.
the happiness of being on my favourite ride, like that is going to be my favourite ride ever. My favourite ride at the front. We won.
Yeah.
We're in a little red Corvette. I've got my ears on.
Yeah. Honestly, at that point, this was the day before we left, and really, that just after all the shit that went wrong, but always worked out. To then cap it off by being able to go back to Disneyland the day before we had to leave, enjoy it again, and then literally finish off with the very last thing we did was go on the Cars ride. Finishing off with that was perfect. It was a perfect way to end the holiday.
No, well, see, to you that was perfect because we went on the ride. Yeah, the ride was perfect. And then it was my shopping spree. And
it wasn't over yet for him.
But hear me out. Like, people always say to me, like, why do you let Aaron buy jerseys? Do you get upset that he spends so much money on jerseys? I barely put any money into this holiday. Barely. Because I don't earn as much as you. I couldn't save as much as you. I didn't have as much time to save. And you put so much money into it. And then, like, I actually was being quite tame. I was like, yeah, I like that, but I don't need it. Like, yeah, I like that, but I don't need it. I found a jumper that said, like, happiest place on earth. That was enough. And then they brought out 2 days before we even got there, like a denim jacket with the castle on it. And it was like $100. And I was like, nah. And Aaron's just like, no, we're getting both. And, you were like, do you want any more ears? And I'm like, no, like I don't need any more ears. And you're like, all right, what else do you want? That's why I let you, and I don't give a shit about the amount of jumpers and stuff you purchase is because that's my thing. I don't get to do it as often as you, but you let me do that. Like, you could have just been like, you're not spending that money. That's too much. One jumper only. But you were like, no. Get what you want. You get it.
Well, we had the money. Like I said, whatever money we had left over, that was going to be what your shopping spree was going to be. And we had $500 or $600 left.
And I wasn't going to spend that much.
She wasn't going to, but I just, whatever.
You encouraged me.
I really like that. I was like, yeah, buy it.
That's what I'm saying, though. I tried to be good, but you were like, no, get it.
So you spent about $400 or $500 and you spent it well. You had a great time doing it.
That's what I'm saying. You were saying the ride was perfect ending. No, the perfect ending for me was that ride, the photo of the ride, the amount of fun we had on that ride, and then a shopping spree. And then it was like, let's go home.
The shopping spree was the cap off. Like, you got to go home with all this stuff that, like, for me, the ride was amazing. Like, that capped us off for me. And then for you to be able to go and spend all that money on the stuff that you would enjoy when you come home, that showed, you were able to show off what you were able to achieve while you were over there. So you're now able to show people, this is what I was able to get on my last day at Disney that we spent on our trip there. This is what I have to show for it. Because I don't really have anything to show for it physically. But you have all this Disney stuff you're like happy to show off, you wear all the time. That means as much to me as it does to you because I know you enjoy it so much. So for me, being able to buy you that stuff doesn't mean anything except for seeing you happy is the best thing you can do. So it's 1 o'clock in the morning. Quite clearly, starting to get a bit sappy. So
stop it, you soppy old thing.
That was it. That was the end of our trip. Next day, we just went to Hollywood and went on the tour and just spent our time in Hollywood Boulevard and walked the strip a bit, and off we went back to the airport and went home. 17-hour flight back to Singapore, which is probably the easiest flight.
Probably the easiest 17 hours I've ever done in my life. Knocked me out again with these pills. Yep. Oh, again, what was the look on my face when you kept trying to wake me up?
Yeah, there it is again. Same look. Slept for about 10 hours, the first 10 hours of the trip, and then woke up, watched a bunch of movies, got to Singapore, spent 7 hours there where we were just trying so hard to get the iPad back. So it all come full circle. I had to find my iPhone so I could see where the iPad was. It was in the Lost and Found in Singapore airport. They just kept telling me it wasn't there. I said, well, here it is. I'm showing you. It's here. Where is it? And they said, it's in the other part of Lost and Found. You have to go into Singapore to actually go get it. And we're like, oh, shit, we don't have visas. We can't get into Singapore. How are we going to get this iPad? And I was almost at the point where I was like, screw it. I don't know what to do. Let's just give up. And then we went to walk off. We went to walk down to the immigration. We're like, oh, let's just see if there was any way we can get a day visa or whatever. As soon as we walked up to the gates for immigration, the chicks were staring. Oh, Em's smiling. She's got something over there. She's got the video. We've already seen the video twice, Em.
I know, but you have a look at it purely because we haven't seen it yet.
we're watching the video before you actually get a chance.
Sorry.
Anyway, we walk over to immigration and they see us coming holding Australian passports. And there's a huge line for immigration. They come over to us, they're like, oh, Australian passport? We're like, yeah. She's like, no worries, go straight through. We're like, what? We walk out and they say, yep, we're in Singapore. We're like, well, don't we have to do customs, immigration, anything like that? Nah, we're in. We're allowed to do whatever we want. So that was pretty crazy. They obviously love Australians over there. We didn't go anywhere else. We just went to Lost and Found. Eventually, they said, nah, it's not here. We'll just find it and put it on a plane whenever we do find it. So this is ridiculous. I know it's here. It's right here. You're clearly full of shit. Because then they said, oh, it's already in the store. I'm like, why would you be selling an iPad that's locked? Because I'd already put it in lost mode, so it's locked. You can't use it. So that's bullshit. Anyway, I was pissed off at this time. I filled out all these forms and I was like, all right, that's it. I've had enough of this damn iPad. Let's go. We went to the shopping centre in the airport. It's just this giant dome of shops. But right in the middle of it is this huge garden aviary with this huge waterfall right in the middle. And it's massive. It's hard to explain how big it is. Photos will do it some justice, but incredible. Like, it was so cool to see. Really humid to be there, but amazing experience seeing this. We tried everywhere after that to find somewhere to get a massage. Couldn't find any massage chairs at all, so it just never happened. We were so annoyed about that. That was the one thing we really wanted to do. And that was it. Back onto the plane and flew from Singapore to Perth, 5 hours. And it was probably one of the worst flights I've ever been on. It was so disorganized.
Oh.
They had no idea. They were still serving food from the start of the flight until about 15 minutes before we landed. They were still serving food because they were just so unorganized. We got served food, and this was one of those flights where you had to book food, pre-book it to be able to get food. We didn't book food at all. We just like, screw it, we didn't care. We got served food, and we're like, what the hell? Why are we getting food? We're like, oh, I'll take it. They had no idea. They were just serving whoever, whatever, and it was just the most messy flight. They had like six flight attendants on this flight, which is more than what we had in the 17-hour one. But none of them had any idea what they were doing. They're all standing in a group talking to each other, trying to work out what everyone was doing. It was just so messy. No video, no screens, no nothing. It was one of those flights. The 5-hour flight was way worse than 17. I'd do that 17 again any day over the 5-hour flight back to Perth.
I just even like the poor person that was next to us that like ordered and paid for food, and she got it with like 40 minutes before landing.
Yeah, if she's lucky, yeah. It was just awful. So don't fly Scoot. If you can avoid flying Scoot Airlines.
We should have known just from the name.
Yeah, I did change the first flight over because I didn't want to fly Scoot, but couldn't avoid the second one. Avoid Scoot at all costs. It's awful. It's terrible. Don't do it. I know it's cheap. If you're flying Singapore, Scoot Airlines is the cheap version. It's worse than Tiger Airlines was, and Tiger's gone now. That's how bad it was. That was our trip. All done. Trip's over. Now we're back in Perth and we want to go back. Lake Tahoe, we are coming back for you one day. This, like I said, this was supposed to be a 2-part episode where we talked about America for probably an hour, and then we filmed another episode back to back that come out a couple of days later. However, this is now a 2-part episode. You've now seen this in 2 parts. Hopefully you've actually watched it. Apologies for it being so long. Hopefully you actually enjoyed some of the stuff we got up to. If you do have any questions about America, if you want to know any tips or where to go, what to do, feel free. We're experts now.
Looks like we're doing the other podcast tomorrow night.
So there
will be an outfit change.
There will definitely be an outfit change. It is 1 o'clock in the morning. I have to go to work in 7 hours. So this is it. This one's done. I actually had questions to ask you. I had quick hands questions. We were going to do mail day. We're going to do cave session. What was it called? What's in the cave?
What's in the cave?
That ain't happening.
We'll do all that tomorrow.
We'll do that tomorrow.
We'll do it tomorrow.
The next episode you watch will have all the stuff. Mail day, viewer questions, which is only one.
And look, to be fair, we're not going to do that many 3-hour episodes. It's just this was a lot to put into.
Yeah, this will also be
a lot
on my main.
We're just going to cut
YouTube
it
as well. We'll make
it'll
be an American vlog. Yeah, it's going to be cut in the middle, so it'll be 2 shorter episodes.
I mean, we can leave it as it is.
No one's going to watch a 3.5-hour YouTube. And my voice is gone. Like
it's gone.
It's gone.
You need a drink.
Need a drink.
Wet
but also
the whistle.
My throat's gone.
Wet the whistle.
Just not enjoying it. This is it. We're done. Thank you for joining us on an extremely long episode of the Player Issue Podcast Cave Sessions. It's really not Player Issue Podcast Cave Sessions. It's a vlog, the Warwick vlog of America. Thanks for joining us. Hopefully you enjoyed it as much as we did talking about it. It was a good to reminisce and then go back and enjoy it all over again. Em, thanks for spending 3.5 hours with me.
Huh?
My voice is almost gone, mate.
What?
Hang in there.
What?
Thank you for spending 3.5 hours with me in the cave. We'll see you again tomorrow. Well, whenever you watch it. We'll be back here again for another episode of the Player Issue Podcast Cave Sessions, back to our regular schedule format. Sorry, it's been 12 weeks since our last one. As you can tell, still getting over the illness.
He's only almost died like 3 times in the process. I've got to go get you a throat lozenge.
All right, so that's it for today. Thank you. If you don't watch Player Issue Podcast Cave Sessions and you are watching this on our main channel, jump over, like and subscribe to the Player Issue Podcast Cave Sessions. If you have any questions for us, ask them on Facebook or drop a comment down here at the bottom. And we'll be happy to answer it. Thanks, Em. I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Well,
see you in time.
thank you, everybody. Goodbye. Goodbye.